Hey everybody, welcome to another video. This channel is about the different hobbies and things that I like to do in my normal life, and some of those are riding off-road, guns, camping, knives, sometimes all-inclusive, drones, you know, photography, all those kinds of things that I do as hobbies. That's what this channel is about. Some of the things I like to do, like I said, are knives, and this particular knife right here, Smoky Mountain knife, exclusive, that just basically was a safe queen. It's my only safe queen that I've ever owned, and I just kind of bought it because I thought it looked cool, and then when I got it I just realized that this would not be a knife that I would, you know, carry in my day-to-day pursuits at work, you know, for EDC, that kind of thing. This knife was just too pretty, and the fact that you have to close it with two hands was also a factor in that decision. So it just basically sat in my safe. It was a safe queen, and I don't really like to have knives as safe queens. And I have, like I said, sold this knife. This knife is gone, and this is the Atonomy 2, and this is the carbon fiber version. Let's take a look at it. I've had it in its box ever since I got it. You know, I just thought I'd make a video of this before it went away, and I couldn't ever make a video on it, and I know that there are probably some people out there that may come across this knife and like to see a video. I know that there's not too many videos on this particular knife out there, but it is, you know, a really good looking knife. The carbon fiber is a grippy texture. It's not like if you've ever had a Capara, the carbon fiber on the Capara, that's kind of, you know, slick and there's no grip. This has a lot of grip. It feels, you know, a lot like you know, like a Para 2 G10 type scales. It's fairly grippy. Oh, I know of a knife that's very similar to this. Is if you have a smock, you'll kind of get what this knife is all about. But it's got a lanyard hole here for the guys who like to hang beads and jewelry off the end of the knives and whatnot. They have accommodated you. This is the button to activate the blade right here, and when I saw this in pictures, I thought that the center part was the button. It's not. It's the outer ring part is the actual button here. Has a safety if you choose to use it. It works just fine without it. I mean, that's up to you if you want that added security or not. Centering is pretty spot on. Let me see if I can get a close-up of this. That's about as good as it gets right there. That's about where the centering's at. It's pretty spot on. It also comes with this commemorative coin. Let me see if I can show you this here. This is Smoky Mountain knife work coin. It's a copper coin that they patinaed, force patinaed. It's kind of cool. And the other side, there we go. I got it out so we can see it better. Okay, here's the back. There's the back of the coin. Kind of a cool coin. If you're into carrying coins for luck and whatnot, that one's pretty cool. And let me put this back where the spider's on the outside, because that seems to make more sense. Okay, the dimensions on this knife, let's see here, about 8.5 inches overall. You know, that puts it, you know, pretty close to some other familiar Spyderco models. Notice it's got, you know, a very familiar Spyderco blade shape, and instead of the big thumb hole, they put a little tiny, you got to have a hole, you know, just kind of like their chef knives have this small little hole. They didn't want somebody trying to open it with their thumbs. And that's kind of an unfortunate thing, because this thing would have looked cool with a 14mm hole right there, just like a normal Spyderco. It would have I think it would have kind of looked cool. And blade length is 3.5 inches thereabouts. Handle length it's got a generous handle of about 5 inches. It's got a kind of a Mannix 2 kind of kind of handle on it, like the dog bone. You can rest your thumb here in this grip right there. It's a very comfortable knife. It's a little bit fatter than most Spydercos. And let's turn this on. Let's see if I can get you a handle width here. Let's see here, handle width, yeah. Let's see here, can you guys see that? Yeah, handle width is slightly over standard, or the common width of a Spyderco. So, and I personally like that. I think that feels more comfortable. I don't think it affects the carry ability of the knife very much at all. One of the cool features of this knife is that the automatic mechanism is contained solely in this little disc right here. And I guess that's so you could take this disc out and it's easily repairable. You would just pop in a new disc, I guess, is the idea behind it. As some of you may know, getting an automatic knife serviced under warranty can be a challenge, so I'm assuming that you could take this mechanism out and maybe just send that in. I don't know. That's a good question that I don't know the answer to. But the overall design of the knife is very familiar. This knife, if you don't know, was designed for the U.S. Coast Guard. Not this particular version of it. This particular version has S30V. The normal version has G10 scales with LC200N blade. So this was originally designed for the Coast Guard, for the rescue jumpers. What do they call those guys that jump out of the helicopters into the ocean to rescue, people in distress? Whatever they call those guys, that's who they designed this knife for. They make it in a serrated blade. They make it, I'm not sure if they make a partially serrated one. I'm not positive on that, but I bought this knife because I had never had an automatic knife, and out of all the automatic knives that I was looking at, I really did like this one. The grind on it is a full flat grind. It's real thin behind the edge. Let me see what we can get behind the edge here. This is just, I'm gonna have to take it off. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it's about 19 20 thousandths behind the edge. And let's get you some comparisons. Let's drop that right there. I'll put it right there in the middle. And let me get you some blade thickness. You might want to know what the blade thickness is. Blade thickness, 0.111, and it's a distal taper, just like most Spydercos, tapers to the point. So gives you an idea what's going on there. Let's get some size comparisons here. How does it stack up against other knives? Here's one that you'll recognize right there. That's the Para 2, and as you can see, if we line these up, that's about the size knife that you're looking at here. This one being a little bit thicker in the handle, a little bit thicker this dimension. Let me show you this. The Para 2 is noticeably thinner. This one's a thicker, meatier knife. Blade, I would say that those are really similar blade shapes. Here's a Capara. There's your Capara for size comparison. Let's take the Para 2, and we'll replace it with this one here I happen to have in here. Here's a Super Freak. The Super Freak is a slightly larger knife, but I would say that the handle on this feels close. Let's see here. Yeah, the handle on the Super Freak is actually wider. I don't know. For me, I gravitate towards more meatier, wider handles on knives. I like that. The thin ones tend to rotate in my hand, and I don't really appreciate that a whole lot. So let's Let's go ahead and get rid of the Kapara here, and I've got one last one just sitting here on the table. Here is the Caribbean, and the Caribbean is also going to be a little bit, you know, a little bit larger knife, maybe by, well, no, I guess they're about the same, but this is a much thinner Spyderco here, I think. Yeah, much thinner. See, that's you know, generally what you're looking at. Let me just, out of curiosity, what do you get on a para 2? Yeah, see, you know, normally if you have Spydercos, you're going to notice that this one is a bit wider. This one here is a bit wider in the handle area. Oh, I didn't give you the weight. The weight that they say that they advertise is just over 5 ounces. But let's talk about the action now. The action on this thing is violent. I guess it could be described as violent. Every person that I've ever handed this knife to, and I said, when you hit the button, hold on tight. At least 6 out of 10 times they lose grip of the knife and it falls out of their hand. But you know, once you become accustomed to it, you know, it's not a problem. The force to close it is you know, more than any other automatic knife I've ever had, and it shoots out with a more violent force than any other automatic knife I've ever had. It is got a lot of oomph behind it. If that is something that you would like, this knife is going to not disappoint you in that area for sure. I mean, it slings out with authority. It makes a pretty loud noise. That's another thing. So if you're looking for a knife where, you know, somebody's not going to be, you know, looking over, hey, what was that noise? This is probably not going to be the knife for you. It sits in the pocket, I think, decently. It's definitely not a you know, low profile clip or anything. And this carbon fiber, like I said, is a bit grippy. But just to give you an idea, this is about the amount of knife that sticks up out of your pocket. The clip is a standard Spyderco clip, and I think that the spring tension on it is a little bit more than traditionally Spyderco clips. Like, this is a little bit more. If you were actually going to carry this knife, maybe you would want to unspring this clip a little bit. Carries fine. Got a big O honkin' lanyard hole. I'm sure that one of these style clips that Spyderco offers in a deep carry would be preferable to this one. A titanium clip deep carry would probably be more preferable than this. That's about all I can offer, since I never carried it. Can't tell you how it performs or anything like that, but it's a traditional shaped Spyderco, traditional Spyderco geometry. I would expect that it would perform just like you would expect. I don't think you're going to get any surprises one way or another. If you've had one Spyderco with this basic blade geometry, I'm thinking that you're not going to be surprised either way. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I have several knives that I have purchased during the off-riding season that I carried this season, and basically how I do it is I'll buy a knife during the my hobby shift when it's like as hot as the surface of the sun outside. My hobbies will shift to something that I can do without catching on fire. So normally I'll shift to collecting things, multi-tools or knives, and there's just really nothing going on in the multi-tool department lately. So I have switched to knives, and I have purchased knives during this season that I will be making videos to show you guys in the future. I've gotten some really good ones this year that I'm really happy with. I'm more happy with the knives that I bought during this season than I have been any other season. Also, I want to let you guys know that I will be putting up some of my collection for sale. I don't have any reason to keep some of the ones that I don't carry. If I don't carry it, it's you know, it's got to go. And I'm going to start with the multi-tools. I've got a pretty extensive multi-tool collection, and I need to kind of thin that down a little bit, get it a little bit more under control. I've got some vintage stuff if you're a collector, and I've got some of their newer limited edition stuff and stuff like that. So with that being said, thanks guys, and watch for those videos coming up in the future. And if you're looking for a good deal on a knife, or a good deal on a a multi-tool coming up in the future, definitely keep your eye peeled for that. Talk to you guys later on that end.